Bruce Johnson, president and founder of BizScalers and the BizScalers Club. And today I want to talk to you about 5 time tactics that can literally double your productivity. 5 time tactics that can double your productivity. If there's one clarion call, one major problem that every business owner, entrepreneur I've ever met has, it's I'm overwhelmed. There's just too much to do. I don't have enough time to do it. And when you find a problem like that, you ought to think, hey, there ought to be a way to solve that. And of course there is. So let's talk about how can we get out of that sense of overwhelmed and feeling like there's never enough time to work on the things that are really important. So today what I want to do is talk about these 5 time tactics. They're not the only 5, but they're my 5 favorite ones, and I think 5 that you'll benefit from. And by the way, if you want to go a little deeper on this, make sure you go to scalingclub.com, scalingclub.com. So here we go. Number 1. The first one is to block out undistracted time at the first of the day to work on your highest value activities. Block out at least an hour of undistracted time at the beginning of your day to be able to work on the highest value activities. Now, the reason why this is so important is because, as you know, interruptions are a way of life of being a leader. And as the day progresses, more and more people interrupt you, right? Once they start doing their work, issues come up, then they want to talk to you, they want to interrupt you, more email, more stuff just comes through your day. Since that is true and it happens virtually every day, it simply makes sense that if you want to focus in on those activities that actually move the needle for your company, the things that can actually help you add more value, you ought to move those earlier in the day before all the interruptions happen, because they're going to happen. This means no open door policy for that first hour or 2 of the day. This means no phone calls, no emails. But if you were to just block out an hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day, and focus in on the things that you can do that add the most value, not the easiest things, but the things that add the most value, that would automatically increase your productivity, no question. Now, if you're thinking, well, what activities would I put in that hour or 2? Well, since we're all in different businesses, what's most valuable is going to be different. But here are a couple ideas. Working on strategic level ideas in that first hour or 2 of the day would probably fit for every business. If you're my business, creating content might be in that category. Working on how to close or move forward a big sales deal. Working on a new marketing campaign. If you're a product company, working on product development. If you're coaching, you're built and starting to build out your leadership team, figuring out how to help one of your leaders get to that next level. All of that would be stuff that would allow you to move the needle for your company. Whatever those handful of things are, you want to put those right at the beginning of the day, before the interruptions, before everything gets in the way of you being able to add value. Move those things to the beginning of the day. You got to block it out. Now, chances are you've probably heard that idea before. My only question is, can you look at your schedule this week and see that every single day this week, you spend an hour to 2 at the beginning of your day focused in on your highest value activities? Again, it's not about knowing, it's about application. Did you in fact do it? And then look at next week, and I want to encourage you to block it out right now, an hour to 2 hours at the beginning of every single day. This is you time, close the door, and if you were to do that, I guarantee you that you would automatically increase your productivity, because you now have the time to focus on the things that will actually move the needle for you and for your company. So that's idea number 1. Doesn't matter if you know it. The only question is, are you doing it? And then make sure you fill it with those needle moving activities. The second idea would be this. You need to delegate away anything that someone else can do at 70 to 80% of your level and ability. One of the frequent problems I run into when I talk to business owners and entrepreneurs is that they wait way too long to give away activities that they should have given away a long time ago. And the reason why they almost always wait, and maybe this is the reason why you wait, is because they're always thinking, well, no one else here can do it as well as I can. So I'm going to keep doing it until someone else can do it as well as I can, or can do it better than I can. That is not leadership thinking at all. Leadership is all about leverage. It's about thinking about how do we create more leverage in this organization to get more done faster. So if somebody can do something at 70 to 80% of your ability, you should be delegating that away. In other words, you need to change the standard from can they do it as well or better than me to can they do it at 70 to 80% of my level. And then you have to make sure you're delegating, not dumping. Now, the typical business owner entrepreneur just dumps. Like, here's something, go get it done. That is not delegating, that's dumping. Delegating would mean that you're thinking about who the best person is for the task, what are all the requirements and expectations. You're thinking through the 5 W's and H, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. You're thinking about the level of quality that you want. You're thinking about the level of responsibility, and you're communicating all this to them. And you're making sure if they need resources, and you're making sure that you're committing to doing whatever you need to do to help them succeed at that task. I mean, that's real delegation. And when you do that, you automatically increase your productivity two ways. One, by getting something off your plate, you increase your productivity. And secondly, by making sure that you've equipped them well so that they can actually get it done, you've actually leveraged and increased the productivity of the whole company. So, great winner. So, what on your to-do list do you need to give away that someone else can do at 70 to 80% of your ability? Now, if you're not sure of what that would be, I'd encourage you to go to the BizScaler site at bizscalers.com/free. Again, this is free. There's a time tracking worksheet. Just print out the one page for the next week, track all the stuff that you're doing. I guarantee you, not only are you wasting time, but there are things that you're doing that someone else could be doing because they could do it at 70, 80%. So again, if you're complaining, stop the complaining. There's stuff you can give away. I know there is. That's number 2. Number 3, the third key, and this would be my third favorite time tactic, is stop multitasking. This is one of those amazing things that every study that has ever been done that I'm aware of on productivity has shown that multitasking is bad, that multitasking decreases your productivity. Virtually every business owner and entrepreneur that I know constantly thinks that they can get more done than anyone else. Well, we're not normal people, so we can multitask. I mean, normal people can't, but we can. And that's just bad thinking. Every time that you multitask, you're starting and stopping something. There is a definite decrease in your productivity when you're stopping and starting. It doesn't matter who you are. So if you could make the commitment, I'm no longer going to multitask, you would automatically increase your productivity by definition, because you're not stopping and starting, going back and forth in and out of activities. You'll automatically get better. So make a commitment, no more multitasking, one task at a time. Whatever's in front of me, that's what I work on, and I don't let anything else interrupt. If you just did that, that alone would increase your productivity. But you start doing all these things, you start realizing how you can easily double, triple your productivity. So no more multitasking, one thing at a time. The fourth time tactic that I think is one of my favorite ones is to spend 1 hour a day in learning. Spend 1 hour a day in learning. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, wait a second, now you're adding something to my already overwhelmed schedule. But here's the reason why. You cannot execute on what you do not know. What holds you back, what makes you the bottleneck at where your business right now is because there are things that you don't know. If you did know, they would allow you to be more productive, they'd allow you to grow faster, but you simply don't know those. That's why there's an old adage, grow the leader, grow the organization. It's because you're the bottleneck. And if you keep doing what you've been doing and you act on all the knowledge that you currently have, you're going to keep getting what you have. To get to that next level, to increase the productivity of you and for your company, you have to learn things that you don't currently know. For example, you could be doing strategic level work now, but if you don't know what great strategy looks like, you are wasting time. You could be managing people right now, but if you don't know what great management looks like at your size and level, you're wasting time. You can be leading right now, but if you don't know what great leadership looks like, you're wasting time. You can be doing sales and marketing, but if you don't know what great sales and marketing look like, guess what? You're wasting time. That's why you need to make a commitment of at least an hour a day. Put it on your calendar, just like you did at the beginning of the day. Block in some time during the course of every day that you're going to spend at least an hour in learning. And as you grow you're going to not be the bottleneck here. You're going to be the bottleneck here. And then you got to keep learning. Then you'll be the bottleneck here. But then you're going to keep learning. And as you keep growing you'll keep growing your organization. Literally, this is one of the reasons why BizScalers, and I encourage you to check out the BizScalers Club, exists, because we want to provide you with everything you literally need to be able to grow and scale a great company. In order to do that, you have to learn some things that you don't currently know. So if you want to learn more about it, check out scalingclub.com, scalingclub.com. And I apologize. This is the joy of pollen. All right, so that's number 4. You need to commit to at least 1 hour a day. And if you're not doing that, you're literally hindering your productivity. You make that commitment, and you'll find that just like all the great leaders who've gone before you have, that commitment to learning will allow you to grow so the better you get, the faster your company is going to grow. That's number 4. And the 5th and the final time tactic for today is going to be that you want to focus in on results, not activity. Focus on results, not activity. One of the great quotes that I've ever read on this subject comes from Alec McKenzie, who wrote a classic book a long time ago called The Time Trap. And his line is this: nothing is easier than being busy. Nothing more difficult than being effective. Like I said, that's a haunter. Like, put that up on the wall, put it in front of you. It is so easy to get busy and say, listen, I worked 12 hours a day. I was busy the whole time. But the question was, are you being effective, right? I mean, it's a good haunting quote to put someplace. But basically what he's trying to say is you need to focus in on the result, not the activity. It's not how busy am I, but am I getting the right things done? And the cool part about focusing on the result is that you're looking at the end and working backwards instead of starting from the front where you focus like, hey, to get this done, I have to do all these things. If you start at the end and say, here's the result I want, now you can begin to ask questions like this. What is the fastest way to get to this result? What's the best way to get to this result? What's the wisest way to get to the result? And once you start asking those questions, then you're probably going to find that there are some steps that you can probably skip in order to get to that result. So if you start from here and move forward, there's just activity. I got to do all these things to get this thing done. But if you start at the end and figure out what you want at the end and work your way backward, then all of a sudden you can reduce a lot of the labor intensity that you probably think you have to invest to get something done. That's why this is such a great time saver and such a great productivity principle, because what you're doing is you're looking at the end and saying, in order to get this, I may not have to do all 30 steps. In fact, I may only need 5 or 7 of them to be able to get that. The cool part also about this principle is that once you start focusing on the result and moving backward, you're probably going to realize that you really don't need to be the one doing the work, and you're going to jump up to time tactic number 2 and say, I really ought to delegate this away. So 5 and 2 work really well together. So there you go, 5 time tactics you can begin to use this week that can literally double your productivity, maybe even triple your productivity if you use all 5 of them. Make sure you, first of all, block in undistracted time at the start of your day, an hour to 2 of time that you're focused in on the things that will move the needle for your business, those things that you add the most value to. Not busy work, but the stuff you add value to. Number 2, then you want to make sure that you delegate at least anything that someone else can do at about 70 to 80% of your level. That will radically increase your productivity. Third, you're going to stop multitasking automatically. You're going to increase your ability to do great work. Number 4, then focus 1 hour a day in your learning. And if you do that, you'll grow you. The more you grow you, the more productive you'll be, and the faster your business is going to be able to grow and scale. And finally, you want to focus in on your results, not on your activity. So you start on what you want to accomplish and work backwards instead of starting here and thinking of all the activity you have to do to get there. And if you do that, I think you'll be able to grow and scale your business much faster. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, I encourage you to make sure you check out the scalingclub.com so you learn more about how we can help you be able to do that. If you know some other business owners and entrepreneurs who want to be able to grow and scale their business faster, make sure you pass this along, because I'm sure that they're probably feeling overwhelmed just like you are. If you're watching this by video on YouTube or listening by podcast, make sure you subscribe, because my commitment to you each and every week is to bring you actionable ideas that can help you grow and scale a great business and to do so faster. And for those of you who want to go the next step and go deeper, make sure you check out scalingclub.com, scalingclub.com, one place where you can get everything you need to know to be able to grow and scale a great business faster. So until next week, to your accelerated success, Bruce out.